My God!
Can I spend the night?
We're not...
I'll pay you well.
I'll let you sleep on the...
Let's agree on a...
Agreed. You can sleep on the hay, but don't go wandering about my house.
Where should I lie?
Well, it's best if you sleep upstairs behind the chimney. Go up the stairs to the next floor and then climb the ladder to the attic. That's where you'll find it.
God be with you. And wash up a bit.
You look all... Good day.
God bless.
Are you still looking for a helper? Like you mentioned at the Troskovitz Tavern?
Hi, I am. I wasn't expecting you to actually show up. You young folks these days are all talk and no action.
Well, I'm not like that. I also heard you might be able to get me into the wedding.
Forget about the wedding for now.
All right. So what kind of work do you have for me?
You'll be carrying sacks of flour.
You don't have anything better? I can do other, more useful things.
Oh, that's nice and all, but there's only one thing I need from you right now, and that's hauling sacks of flour.
Maybe you could use an armed escort. Maybe I could sit around here somewhere looking tough.
You think you'd be good at that? You don't seem very tough to me. Why not try something a bit simpler, such as hauling sacks of flour?
Do you really have nothing better I could do?
I do, but only for people I know already. And you're not one of them.
All right. It's not like I have much of a choice, do I?
The sacks are in the barn, and the wagon is in front of it. I'll give you a groschen for every half-dozen you carry. You won't have to buy food. We'll take care of that. And you can sleep here, in the barn. But not on the sacks of flour, you understand? Or I'll tan your hide. Climb up to the loft with the others.
Oh, fuck me.
Careful what you wish for. Go on, get to work. God be with you.
What's the purpose of the pen beyond the stream?
You notice the bloodstains there, eh? I let my hands practice fist fighting there.
And can I try too?
Why not? Maybe you'll get to go to Zhelyov.
In Zhelyov? Yeah, I've had a few bouts there too. And I even won.
Did you now? Well, you must show them oafs of mine how it's done.
Where should I lie down?
Well, it's best if you sleep upstairs, behind the chimney. Go up the stairs to the next floor, and then climb the ladder to the attic. That's where you'll find it. See you soon.
I wonder if Crazy will give
The miller said I could wrestle with you.
Look at you champing at the bit. You do have the coin for a wager, don't you?
Wait, you never said anything about a wager.
Did you really think we brawl just to pass the time? Well, maybe we do a bit. But still, if you want to fight, you have to wager something.
If you say so. Here's the coin.
Great. Get your ass ready for a good kicking. Wanker! Slow down, damn it! Nice. Nice. You fight better than I'd have expected.
Thanks.
But we'll see how you fare against Malik. Oh, yeah. And this is yours.
Why did you start with all this brawling?
Just look around. The mill's in the arsehole of nowhere, miles to the tavern and the wenches. Not a damn thing to do here but work.
So you rather let yourself get beaten up?
Well, I'm usually the one does the beating, see?
Well, ready to brawl?
Aye, all right. It's going to be a clean fight, see? No funny stuff.
What funny stuff?
Kicks in the balls, fingers in the nose, biting and shit like that. Try something like that and I'll rip your head off.
Don't you worry. I can hammer you without any of that.
We'll see about that. And what about the wager? Have you got coin?
Here it is.
That's the way I like it. Let's do this. Fucking hell! Just you wait. Nice. 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 Bam. There you go. Bam. There you go. Where did this fella come? God damn! You gave me the runaround.
You all right?
Well, a bit of liquor to ease the pain, a bit for the tummy, and I'll be all right. You're going to be much worse off when Vera's done with you. If you wanted to train a bit before then, let me know. I can show you some tricks. And here's your wager. Spend it well.
I wonder if Crazy gives him a groschen for every half dozen too.
I want to fight you.
Are you sure? I could break you in half.
Don't you worry about me. Well, shall we?
Well, if you say so. Got the coin for a wager?
Yeah. Here's the coin.
Get ready then.
Ah, fuck that! You'll be shitting out your own teeth when I'm done with you! Useless! You'll be shitting out your own teeth when I'm done with you! Ah, fuck that! Shit! You'll be shitting out your own
I wonder if Crazel gives him a groschen for every half dozen too.
Well, fuck me. I stripped in like you, and you whipped my ass.
You're full of surprises yourself. Not even Pa swore as much when he whacked his knee with his blacksmith's hammer.
Oh, I know. Once a fight starts, my mouth takes on a life of its own. Here's the coin you won, and go and see Crazel. He could send you to Shelioff instead of me.
Crazel gives him a groschen for every half dozen too.
Well, Miller, it seems I defeated all the hands you have here.
Good work. But it's a shame you didn't show up here before going to fight in Shelioff. I'd have had a wager on you. You know what? Have a few groschen from me, so folk don't say I'm stingy.
Thank you.
And if you get bored fighting my fellows, look around the woods by Kopanina. Seems there's some peculiar fellow living there who knocks 7 shades of shit out of anyone who as much as looks sideways at him.
Near Kopanina, you say? Maybe I'll go and have a chat with him.
Seems he's some herbalist or something, but that doesn't seem right to me. The strongest bloke around and he's growing flowers? If that's true, there's no sense in this world at all. Take care, friend.
This is what we get instead of Zimmer.
This is who we get instead of Zinnek. Hey.
Maybe this one will be lighter. What the hell is in this thing? Oof. Bit heavy for flour. Sweating like a pig. I could barely lift it. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig.
Ow.
Oh, fuck, that's heavy. Ah, fucking hell. Ah, what a slug. Maybe this one will be lighter. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig. Kurwa. What the?
Have you got it done? I said, are you done?
You're milling some pretty peculiar grain here, Miller. It's got a bit of a metallic flavour to it.
Kurwa. Can't you be more careful?
Tell me the truth. What are you really doing here?
Seems I'll have to lift the lid off the cauldron of knowledge sooner than I expected. You think you're ready?
Don't change the subject.
I'm not. I'm attempting to convert matter into a truly miraculous energy.
What?
I understand. It seems impossible. I'm sure you're asking yourself what that has to do with the metal in the sacks. But we're only just scratching the surface. You see, for my experiment, I'll need something sinfully earthy. Something we'll have to appropriate. And that's something you can help me with, my curious apprentice.
So thievery. Just like Peshek in Ratai. I should have known.
Thievery? What a crude way of putting it.
But a truthful one.
Those things aren't mutually exclusive.
I'll help you.
That's the right attitude. Now listen up. In Troskovitz, next to the tavern, there's a rat house. And in that rat house, there's a chest. And in that chest is a document I need. One that used to be mine. But due to an unfortunate twist of fate, ended up there. It's called The Offer of Hermes Trismegistos. It's written right on it. You said you could do all sorts of things, so I assume reading is one of them. Am I right?
I can read. But I reckon that's the catch, isn't it?
The catch is, the chest is under lock and key, and most likely well guarded.
Of course it is. And then you'll get me into Semin's wedding?
Aye. If you help me, I'll find a way to get you there. Miller's honor.
Where exactly should I look for this document? I doubt they've only got one chest in the Troskovitz rat house.
I can't help you there, but my hand Zinnik might know more. He had the document on him, but then the bloody fool got caught because of something else, and they took it from him. I'm pretty sure he's still on display in the stocks on the square. Just remember, lad, if you get caught like he did, the guards will turn out your pockets. And it would be pretty hard to explain what a tramp like you is doing with a document he can't even read.
No, I doubt the bailiff will let me roam around the rat house and go peeking through his chests. Any advice on getting in there without being spotted?
Oh, come on. Do I really have to spell it out for you? Black clothes, a play of light and dark. A quiet night, and those who live in the shadows, concealed beneath its veil.
Is that supposed to be advice?
Just get some inconspicuous clothing and head over there after midnight.
And where can I get some clothes like that?
I had my outfit washed in the Gilioff bathhouse, but after a bit of disagreement, they refused to give it back. It's my gift to you. All you have to do is pick it up.
Pick them up? You want me to steal them, don't you?
Doesn't it sound like a suitable appetizer before the main course? There's no sense in trying to deal with the owner, Dorothy, anyway. She's a contrary woman who's impossible to talk to.
I'm not even surprised your paths crossed. I'd like to learn more about the art of thievery.
Thievery? Humph. Well, I call it the art of thievery. It's simply an art. But all right, enough wordplay. If you want to learn something, go and see Hensel. He'll tell you how to relieve people of the things in their purses, or how to quickly and painlessly send them to the land of dreams. And if you'd like to try opening locks without a key, there's a chest in the barn that you carried the sacks to. You can practice on that.
All right. I reckon I know everything I need. Thanks. Would you know of any other way to make some extra money?
The only thing you can do in this backwater is steal cabbages. But go and ask those woodcutters on the opposite hill. You might find something more interesting there.
Why the woodcutter?
Just think about it. They've been cutting timber in the middle of nowhere for a pretty long time, and they get paid for every wagon they unload at the sawmill. They work all day long and don't move an inch. They have nothing to spend their money on.
I think I know what you're getting at.
All their earnings must be hidden somewhere in their camp. And it must be a lot of money.
What does Crazel say about that?
He said it would be obvious it was one of us. After all, they can see right into our backyard from their camp. But you're not from around here. You might get away with it.
Crazel said you'd teach me to pick pockets.
All right, follow me. So Crazel took you on just like that. Surprising. Crazel hardly trusts anyone. He's a smart man. So don't you even think about betraying him. That would end badly for you. Not to scare you, though. That's not what I'm here for.
Good doggy. Good boy.
Let's begin.
Not so fast. You're new here, so here's some advice before we get started.
Don't worry. It's not my first time.
Well, well, well. You fancy yourself. Let's see. Where would you look for keys on a person?
In the front pouch, of course.
All right. I see you have some skills. Do you think you're up to stealing something from the front?
Nah, I'm not quite ready for that.
Don't you want to hear about it anyway?
All right. Tell me.
First of all, rich or poor, most folks carry their things in a pouch either in front or in the back. The front one holds keys, coin, and other small items.
And the rest is in the back?
Exactly. Now, this is important. Don't steal from the front pouch unless you're sure you know what you're doing.
No problem. I can manage a different way.
Oh yeah? And how's that?
I'll take it from behind.
That you can. Just remember, it'll be further away and there's a bigger risk of getting caught.
Don't worry. I've tried it before.
Show me how nimble your fingers are then.
All right, let's do it.
Quit dawdling and get over here. Do you have it yet? Ah, you messed that one up. Try again.
Yes.
Try again. Gotcha. Pay attention or you'll get...
Done.
Very nice. I didn't notice you at all, and that's exactly what you want. Now give back what you took.
Here you go. What now?
That's it. It's a simple art. But if you want, you can give it another try.
I'd rather try takedowns.
Why not, since we're here? Well then, it's easy. Sneak up behind me and choke me out. I won't fight back the first time, so you should have no trouble. Just remember, you mustn't let me see you.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Nice choke. I'm still seeing stars. I wasn't even aware of you. I didn't fight back the first time. This time I won't make it so easy. Remember, if your victim is able to defend himself, you can still turn things around. But it'll be a close call, shall we?
All right, let's do it.
Ouch! You took me down nicely. I didn't notice you at all. Nice job.
I'd like to...
What are you in?
I need...
Great. Let's...
Good doggy. Good boy.
God bless you.
Good evening. Do you need something?
I'd like to learn.
There's no time. Careful.
What brings you?
I heard you have some clothes here that belong to Miller Crazel.
You're damn right I do. They're here waiting for him. Only I had to put them away in a chest in the loft. So I don't have to be constantly reminded of the debt Crazel racked up here. Taking his bloody time he is, the bastard. Those rags have been here for so long, the rats have got into them. Why do you care about them so much anyway?
The miller mentioned them. Said I could take them.
Are you his new lackey or what? Did Zinnek start to get on his nerves?
Well,
Look, I don't really care who takes them. They're a bunch of boring rags. But if you only knew how much work it was to wash out them particular black stains and sew up the burn holes, and most of all, to wash out that awful stench of rotten eggs, blah. Along with Crazel's debt, it'll cost you this much, including the price of soap.
come on, Dorothy.
What is it?
Well, I'm sure I could get you the groschen. I have a feeling you prefer a more steady supply of silver.
What do you mean?
You're looking at a fellow who meets with all sorts of important people in the region. And these people ask him, "Where did you get such beautifully clean clothes, good sir?" And he honestly answers, "Well, from Dorothy and Jellyov, of course. She washes your clothes so gently and thoroughly, you'll feel like you're wrapped in a feather quilt. And trust me, I'm willing to pay for comfort like that."
And this fella's supposed to be you?
Wasn't that obvious?
I'm not sure. Where you're from, they call beggars good sir. Or are you trying to tell me that a yokel like you meets with nobles? Even in Trotsky itself? Puh. If I was the Chamberlain, I'd throw piss on you at first sight. I wouldn't be surprised if you and Crazel already tried that, judging by how them rags stink. Either way, if you want them, you'll have to pay off his debt. Otherwise, you can take your leave.
Greetings.
Damn. These are some fine thieving clothes.
Christ! Pardon me.
Are you Zinnek?
Yeah, look, mate, I really need to piss. Can you let me out of here?
Crazel sent me. He's looking for some document the bailiff took from you.
And what's the password?
Hermes Trismegistos?
I'm just shaking your pizzle. You should have seen your face. They caught me at night when I was robbing a merchant, and then they make any distinction between what I stole and what I already had on me. They took everything, including that document, and locked it all away in the chest of stolen things in the rat house jail. You could get into the jail from the courtyard behind the rat house. It's right under the guardhouse. Or you could get there from behind the tavern alongside the fence. As soon as you find the stairs leading down, you'll know you're in the right place.
Well, who's got the key to it?
Well, actually I had it, but when the guards shook me down, I must have dropped it. It was in the chamber, next to the one with the chest. They've got a pretty soft bed in there, I tell you. The key probably fell under it.
Is that the only key?
No, of course not. Every guard in Troskovitz has one. Best to rob one of them who's slacking off or having a nap. Look, mate, do you actually know how to pickpocket?
Well, I'm still learning, so I could use some advice.
You're in luck. You're speaking to a master. Of course, I am in the stocks just now, but that was just rotten luck. There ain't much I can teach you like this, is there? Better go and see Crazel. Take care.
The offer of Hermes Trismegistos. That's Crazel's document.
Hey, you're not allowed here.
God bless.
I have that document from the rat house for you.
Excellent. I knew I could count on you.
I even managed to get my hands on the key to the chest with the confiscated things.
Very good. Give that to me too.
Well, I thought it might come in handy.
Come on. Give it here.
Fine. Here it is. Judging by the contents, it seems like you're dabbling in alchemy here at the mill.
That's not a bad guess. But don't forget about astrology, theurgy, transmutation, and a smidgen of demonology. Although that's something anyone with a grain of sense should avoid. Now show it to me, so I can finally get the knowledge. Good. Good. This will come in handy. Ah, yes. Of course.
What now?
That much? We're going to need more. A lot more.
Did you hear me? What now?
Sorry. I got lost in thought. I owe you my thanks as well as reward for getting me the document. And maybe another little job? What do you say?
Oh, don't tell me you've forgotten. I need to get to that wedding in Semine.
Don't worry. Your path is leading that way. Only it'll be a little longer than expected.
Another miller's trick. Why doesn't that surprise me?
Now, there's no trick. I promised I'd get you into that wedding. You'll just have to put in a bit more effort first. Besides, things are about to get really interesting. Step by step, we're moving closer to the great revelation.
Enough. I'm sick of listening to your cryptic blabbering. Supposing you first initiate me into the mysteries of your enchanting mill. This isn't any run-of-the-mill business, so to speak. I smell something devilish here.
Devilish? Not at all. You guessed it. It's nothing less than high learning. Alchemy! And when I say alchemy, I mean real alchemy. Not some hocus-pocus brewing of potions for creaky joints and bellyache.
Tell me more about it, then. Maybe I'll learn something useful.
I suppose. You are my apprentice, after all. You deserve to know what all of this is leading to. Now, pay close attention. I want to make a golem out of dough. Then, using secret alchemical practices and theurgy, bring him to life.
A golem, you say? Isn't that a kind of pie? What are you going to do with a living pie?
Henry, a golem is a helper brought to life using divine words. A living statue endowed with massive strength. Can be made of clay, wood, stone, basically anything. And I'll make one out of flour. Studying the Jewish Kabbals taught me a practice known as Maseh Bereshit. A mystic can use it to imitate the work of God. Just imagine. You know how helpful a golem would be at the mill? Carrying sacks, pulling wagons, standing guard. He wouldn't be much smarter than Zinnik, but he'd have the strength of 10 men.
You're trying to play God? You know they could burn you at the stake for something like that. It's witchcraft.
Ah, horseshit. It's in the interest of the advancement and prosperity of mankind. Just look at the Bible. Moses could command the waters and speak to God through the element of fire. And Jesus brought the dead back to life. I've no doubt that if our great holy Mother Church had been around at the time, they'd have crucified Jesus the same as the Pharisees. And all the apostles would have been burned at the stake.
So a golem, you say, made of flour? For the good of mankind?
Exactly!
And what about the good of me? You promised me a reward.
You already know that you can learn the practical application of certain useful skills from me. But for a few groschen, we could discuss the art on a more, let's say, theoretical level.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Supposing you give me a few groschen first, as a reward for bringing you the document, and then I'll decide whether to trade the coin for some learning.
Oh, see now, I completely forgot. Here you go. So you don't go around saying that Miller Crazel is a pinch purse. I added in what I owe for those sacks you carried. And if you want some more work, there's plenty.
What's this next job all about?
I need to find a saltpeter pit.
Never a wasted word, eh, Crazel?
Short and to the point. That's my credo.
And how long will it take before you tell me what a saltpeter pit is?
A saltpeter pit is a pit in which saltpeter is formed.
This has something to do with that alchemy of yours, eh? I don't know much about that stuff.
Nitra is saltpeter. White crystals similar to salt.
And what needs salting here in the mill? Or is it supposed to be some peculiar Crazel wedding gift for a young Semine?
Nothing of the sort. The Kabbalistic doctrine speaks of saltpeter as a vessel for the inexhaustible essence of life. Those white crystals are said to contain the very essence of being. That's precisely what we need to give life to our golem. Thanks to the ingredients from Hermes Trismegistos, his feet will never get tired and his fists will have the power to smash rocks. But saltpeter is the most important thing. Saltpeter will be the golem's heart.
So you're serious about this golem? And are you certain it'll work out?
Certainly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even try.
How much saltpeter will it take to bring to life such a big creature?
A lot. That's why I want you to find me a decent saltpeter pit. Do you understand?
I was hoping I'd learn something useful from you. But instead, you're making me wander around the countryside looking for some pit.
Well, you never know when an experience like that might come in handy.
Wander in the countryside looking for some pit? Sounds to me like a waste of time. Maybe later.
What do you mean, later? I need to find the pit now, understand? Don't forget, either you work or forget about the Semine wedding. God be with you.
What about that saltpeter pit?
They haven't. We've got our hands full with other matters, if you hadn't. That's why I hope you'd
All right, then. I'll look around for that saltpeter pit of yours. I just hope you know where to look. That you can point me in the right direction. And also that you'll get me into that wedding as a reward.
Yes, yes, and yes. Bonnie has a lead. She's a damned handy girl to have around. She can do anything you ask of her. But for you, the most important thing is that she knows how to look for niter, or saltpeter if you prefer.
So this Bonnie is some kind of witch who's in on this golem stuff.
Bonnie is someone I trust without question, and you should too. Not only will she teach you how to find saltpeter, but also how to differentiate it from common salt. The main difference is it has kind of cooling taste.
Hold your horses. You want me to taste that nasty stuff?
If you don't taste it, you could confuse it with some nasty rot. And you don't want that.
Damn right.
Don't be such a lily liver, Henry. If Bonnie can taste saltpeter, so can you. She'll tell you the rest herself. You'll find her in the lair. That's a secret storage space I have here just by the pond. Only my best people can get in.
You have a secret storage space? You're full of surprises, Crazel.
What's so surprising about that?
Well, actually, it makes sense. I reckon you can't just make a golem in the mill. So how do I get to this lair?
There's a bridge over the mill stream towards the southwest. Take the path to the left, just behind it along the pond. From that path, you turn right, uphill, between the rocks, and you'll find yourself right in front of the lair. You can't miss it. Oh, and so I don't forget. You could pick some herbs along the way to see Bonnie. It would make her very happy. She's just been through some tough times. Her dog died, and on top of that, she has to spend time with that blabbermouth, Zinnik. On the other hand, Zinnik might be holding his tongue for a while after his encounter with the Troskowitz stocks.
If Bonnie spends time with Zinnik, she may want some spirits rather than herbs.
Bonnie? Never. Being a decent Christian, she avoids alcohol like the plague. Right along, so you're back as soon as possible.
To the lair.
Farewell. And wash up a bit so you don't scare anyone, huh?
What was that noise? Woodpeckers?
Lord be with you.
I'm Henry, Miller Crazel's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit, and said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? It's not a name I hear often.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you?
The Butcher of Vranik.
Well, that's not very creative. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. Did you bring me something from the mill?
Actually, Crazel said you'd appreciate some herbs.
He's right there. Do you have some for me?
I'm sorry. I've got nothing for you.
I reckon I'll just have to scrape together the ingredients for that magic ritual myself.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
I'm curious to see what a golem made of flour will look like, but I'm mostly curious to see if Crazel will really be able to breathe life into it with the help of saltpeter.
I'm more worried that as soon as it comes to life, it'll slay us all with one blow. So, if by some chance it looks like something's going wrong, you won't see my heels for dust. And I suggest you do the same. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep you.
No. I have plenty of time. But where to start?
You know what? I'll start. When they caught Zenek in Troskovitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zenek and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. So I'm glad the miller's finally found a normal hand for once. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name?
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
Among the wolves. Not a word of a lie. That is, I lost him, and then found him again in a wolf pack.
Well, that's what I call an interesting past. I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore.
He died.
He started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating, just slept all the time. And then, well, what's done is done. And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
No. Pa was a blacksmith. I inherited something from him, I hope.
Oh, really? Would you teach me how to make, maybe, barrel hoops?
Those are pretty hard. Wouldn't you rather start with, maybe nails?
Sure. I'm pretty quick to learn and patient. That is, with one exception. When Crazel starts spouting off his alchemy theories, I'd rather run for the hills. What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
He seems awfully mystical. He has lots of experience, like as if he's lived for hundreds of years.
It's his beard that does that. Don't let it fool you. Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. But now, about that saltpeter. Before you came, and before Zenek fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place, mainly in sties. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests. just in case. You know. Anyhow, now all the styes in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter.
Barrel is quite a lot.
For the whole Trotsky region, aye. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least 6 times as much.
6 times? Will 1 saltpeter pit be enough?
I reckon so. There should be as much as Crazel needs for his masterwork. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
Certainly. Well, you take a chunk of salt and pray to St. Peter to miraculously transform it.
You won't find it any joking matter soon enough. Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave, the best natural saltpeter maker.
Crazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from dead bodies, but how do you get it from shit?
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's nonsense, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue.
Jesus. And you know where to look for such a pit full of carcasses, do you?
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a a saltpeter mine.
The local gravedigger?
Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the knacker.
Oh, I haven't met him yet. Where can I find him?
The cemetery is beyond Troskovitz, towards the Apollonia rocks.
So I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun, and pretty useful experience. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskovitz butcher.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of luck, the butcher of Vranyig.
I heard you could...
There's no time. See you later, my friend.
Go!
Leave.
Yeah! Go! Quick! Whoa! Quick! Whoa! Whoa!
Christ, can't you wash up before going out in public?
You must be the local gravedigger, right? I'm Henry.
Ignatius, master of the sod, at your service. Looking for a final resting place? Or do you need to bury a dead goat?
None of that. I have a different, slightly unusual request. Bonnie from Lower Semine sent me. We're looking for a saltpeter pit.
From Lower Semine? What pit?
A saltpeter pit.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that. What's it supposed to be? A pit to hell?
Nah, it's actually just a pit full of carcasses. These white crystals form on the walls of it, and that's exactly what we're after.
Ah, now I get it. You should have said you're looking for the pit I throw carcasses into. What's all this about Salty Peter? I'm going to go there anyway, so I'll take you there.
Really? That was easier than I thought.
Not even a chicken scratches in the dirt without hope of reward, though. You'll help me with something first. I have some collections from some Slatigo farmsteads, and I'd be a fool if I didn't use a helping hand. At least one day I can take it a bit easy.
You want me to help you with your grave-digging business?
Why not? You look like a strong fella. You'll be a good helper.
I have a better idea. You tell me where I can find that pit, and I'll give you a nice piece of fresh meat for it.
I won't say no to that. Show me what you have. Oh, aye, fresh meat. What a feast that'll make. Now, listen closely. That pit of yours lies at the end of a long journey that we'll take together on my wagon.
So you got meat out of me for nothing?
When I see how much you lot in Lower Semine are interested in it, I'm not just going to hand it to you on a plate. But thanks for the meat, and don't worry about a thing. Grave digging is a job like any other. Sooner or later, everyone needs our services. And if it wasn't for us knackers, folk would have to deal with their animal carcasses themselves.
Of course, I understand. I'm just a little worried about what people will say about me when they see me with you. I wouldn't like to lose the honour I've earned as squire to a nobleman.
Don't worry about what people say. They'll only strip you of your honour if you let them. So what then? Shall we take a nice little ride with my boys Snorter and Dragonfly here? Nice and early, at daybreak.
Let's get this over with then.
The dew is still on the leaves. The roads are clear. You don't need your horse. I'll stable him here. It'll be heaven for him. In any case, heaven's always close here. Hop on the wagon and Snorter and Dragonfly here will take care of us. Did I bring that stuff for Visor? Meat? Bane? Aesop? Got it all. Good. Come on, then. Get a move on. We've got a long journey ahead of us, so get yourself comfortable so your arse won't hurt. So, you say you're from Lower Semine, eh?
Well, not exactly. I'm not even from this region. I'm only doing some work for the miller.
I remember Crazel when he was still a wee lad. Even then he was a great big smart-ass. When I buried his parents, he was traipsing somewhere through the world. Maybe you heard what they say about Lower Sameen round these parts. Crazel don't sell short measure, not that. He looks out for his reputation, but his helpers have been seen often in the villages after dark, looking fishy. Or during the day, in the pillories. Don't that Bonnie of yours belong to that gang too?
Bonnie's an honest girl, and her friend Zinek is too. Crazel only sent them to scrape saltpeter off the walls of the sties, so that's just what they've been doing. From what she told me, they had nothing else in mind.
Lower Sameen's a thorn in the side for a lot of folk. Some on account of the competition. Some is just rubbed up the wrong way by that Crazel. Either way, all they need's the slightest excuse to grab their pitchforks. Go and grab the miller and shove his face right in his own millstone. Lazy bones. Whoa, boys, whoa! What's going on here? Come on. Come on! Are you deaf? Oh, they're acting stubborn again. Now listen, Henry. Here on the left side, you'll see the ruins of a cottage that's been abandoned for a few years.
It looks mysterious. What treasures might be hidden there?
You'll soon see. I have a trap set inside the cottage. I wanted to lure a wolf into it, but that didn't work out. There's a deer rotting there unnecessarily. So hop in there and bring it to the wagon. Finally, at least we're not blocking the road too much.
But Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
that carcass down and get over here. You hear me? Are you right in the head? Sod off with that weapon. That's right. I want to talk...
What's going on, Ignatius?
I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving around here. They should go to Lower Samine to complain.
2 stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and lining their purses with silver too while they was at it. Some scruffy and dunger. You must be scruffy, eh?
I'm Henry, and those names mean nothing to me.
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, they should have come to me. A passion for knacking is the only thing we have in common.
Is that so? So prove it then.
Take a good look at me. Do I look like a thief? Or more like a commonplace, maybe just slightly grubby, hired hand? At this rate, you could blame any old peasant who's grimy after a hard day's work.
I don't know. I don't reckon I've ever seen a real thief up close.
Ask around about me and you'll find out everyone knows I can't stand a liar. I'll keep my promises and show up on time. So enough talk and let's carry on to where duty calls us.
All right, listen. We'll be going then. But if you happen to run into them 2 thieves, you tell us right away, got it?
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go, fellas. Maybe...
Not much left for us to do here, eh?
Hopefully our luck will hold out, and we'll only be breaking the limbs of carcasses today. The next farm's just up ahead. Hop on, and let's go. That was just a kind of little favour from me. Now we'll help the locals here in Jdar with their carcasses.
So far, I've just carried sacks. I already did that for the miller.
Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop them up and haul them off. I mean, you scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pigs started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
And then Satan himself appeared in the sky. Happens all the time.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy as, well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right. I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly. Yeah! Yeah! Lazy.
Ale.
Yeah. Ugh, and another.
God reward you for it.
God don't reward me much, but I'll probably get something from the bailiff for hauling.
Well, I wish you and your helper lots of luck today. May God bless you.
You too.
Ew. Is this really worth it?
Bloody hell. Poor things. Christ, pardon me.
Get over here so we can carry on.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
And what about this mysterious curse?
Oh, right. Slipped my mind. The watering spot, you said?
Aye. Take a look around. See if you find anything fishy.
I took care of the carcasses.
And what about this mysterious
I'm not in the mood to deal with it.
Making sure you don't work any more than you have to, eh? Let's go then. Hop on. We have one more stop before the grand revelation of unimaginable saltpeter treasure. Surely horsing around today. So far it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Well, ever since I started working for the miller, all I did was carry sacks. The sack makers here in the region must live like kings. Of course it could be a lot worse.
I like having to carry sacks full of thistles. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then you've got to put down some creature so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
Well, what can I do? But I doubt I'll feel good about it.
That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Vizar. I've heard they're both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me. Lazy bones. Yeah! Yeah! Lazy bones. God bless you.
Oh, Sakra! The dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to?
Where'd you come from?
Bonnie? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Now, first, tell me what you're doing here. And how come you're with that beast?
He's no beast. I came here to save him.
You mean steal him?
For him, it'll be a redemption from that horse and master of his. I'll take care of him, in place of my poor dead sniffer.
Bonnie... The gravedigger sent me to kill the dog. He's been paid to do it by the people whose livestock that beast killed. It's the last thing I need to do before he shows me the pit.
It's not the animal's fault. When Zenek and I were here last, I saw how old Vysarik treats him. He doesn't give him food, he abuses him. With a master like that, he won't last long. You wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick horseman, would you?
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how to save that dog. If you want to take him, I won't stop you.
You're a much better Christian than I thought you were. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before someone sees us together.
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair.
God bless. It's taken care of.
Taken care of? What do you mean?
The dog is dead. So, can we go to the pit now?
Dead, eh? And what are you so nervous about?
Well, it wasn't pleasant to watch. I did it exactly how you told me. I poisoned him.
Oh, aye? And how did it go exactly?
Well, I dipped the meat in poison. He ate it, and peacefully departed to doggy heaven.
So, it all went how it should. I use a real strong mixture so the creatures don't suffer too much. He's done for, the beast. Finally. Let's go before we start looking suspicious.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy, slowly. Have a bit of respect. Death always deserves respect, whether it's people or animals.
But there's hardly 3 heaps here. Is this really it? Are you yanking my pizzle again?
Of course not. True, it used to be one big pit. But then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits and throw some wet hay between them, it all rots better. And the better it rots, the more nitre you'll have. Are you going to take some right away?
I won't. I'll just tell Crazel where you have it. I don't know if he'll take something away. Maybe he'll just make his own pit according to your design.
Now that would be a great honour.
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable. I'll still have to taste it.
You're going to taste it?
It's the only way I can be certain it really is saltpeter.
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I've got a reward for you. Just so's you don't think old Ignatius and his even older nags is ungrateful riffraff. Take it as a thanks for your help. Maybe you'll take over my trade one day when I'm pushing up daisies myself.
Who knows? Maybe that'll really be my fate. I'll live at the cemetery, build piles of carcasses, and eat bread with saltpeter.
Here's something that'll definitely come in handy if you ever need to go through all this again. Either with me or somewhere else.
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I have got to see.
Look at me. I'm a lord's messenger to a taster of cadavers. Cold and salty. This must be it. If you're going back to your cottage, I'd like to take a ride with you.
Of course. But in return, you have to help me get all this lot buried. So there's some more saltpeter in the making. God be with you, friend.
You have a kind master, eh, Mutt?
Praise God.
Careful. Good evening. Do you need something?
I found the place where we can harvest saltpeter. You just head out of Troskovitz towards Apollonia, carry on alongside the road, then head off it at the right spot. Only it's not a pit, it's 3 piles of earth. The gravedigger Ignatius drove me there himself.
And is it the real stuff? Did you taste it?
Yeah. And I hope I never have to do that again. Ugh. I think the experience has changed me forever.
Oh, come on. You whine more than Zinnik. It's just commonplace salt. I was hoping it'd be closer. To go all the way to Apollonia. If I send 2 wagons, that should be enough.
What should I do?
That means I could mix a barrel and a half.
Crazel, focus. What else do you need from me?
Oh, sorry. What were you asking? About a reward? It's right here.
Thanks. How's it going with the golem?
Well, the whole thing is really appealing to a scholar of my field of interest and important for humanity. But certain circumstances have emerged which, unfortunately, move its creation somewhere further into the future.
Wait, what do you mean? So there won't be any golem?
Not for now.
What about all the niter? The life essence?
I admitted to myself it's maybe too much to take on, and I decided to go back to my roots.
So the search for saltpeter was for nothing?
Not at all. The saltpeter will help us create primordial matter. The origin. Chaos. Materia prima.
God. Here we go again.
As alchemical scholars, we actually have only one task before us. To penetrate the diaphanum and find out where it gets its disposition and power from. Only then will we understand the nature of the shadows.
Eh?
I'll explain it to you.
Tell me then, what's the next task then, Crazel?
From behind the closed gates of Trotsky come quiet whispers, carried by the wind, all the way here to me in the mill. Do you hear it too?
Yeah, I can hear. And pretty clearly. Crazel's daft. Crazel's daft.
No, I hear something else. Scribe Erezim received a trunk from Prague, and in that trunk was...
The document of Hermes Trismegistos?
No, a book. And from an author more venerable than Hermes. It's thin, with a sand-colored cover, embossed. Ordinary at first glance. But the treasure's inside. You might say it's kind of an alchemical cookbook.
So I'm gonna have to pick some locks again, eh? And in the castle, no less. I'd like to know how I'm supposed to get in there. Trotsky is shut tight.
For some. The gates of Trotsky may appear to be closed to us, mere mortals. But why try to force your way in? When there's a person, they'll invite in themselves.
What person?
Hold on, we'll get to that. We've got the Samine wedding coming up. I can't wait to try out my new potion against drunkenness there. What about you? You still need to get there?
Certainly. It's why I decided to work for you. Or have you forgotten? I hope your promise still stands.
Of course it does. What do you take me for? Start getting ready. You've almost got a fine outfit, I see. But it still could be a lot better. Ad charisma tuendum. Say a prayer to St. Paul. Maybe he'll send you a few nice things from heaven.
So you'll really get me into that wedding? Am I dreaming?
No, you're not. But before you start celebrating, we won't be going by ourselves. We'll have company. Or, to be more exact, the two of us will be accompanying a certain person. Me as a friend and host, and you as a bodyguard, loyal servant. Call it what you will.
It'll be some female, right?
Correct. But not just any female. A true lady will come to the wedding with us. Radiant as the morning star, refined as pure gold. All will be stunned by her beauty. And she'll be our lockpick that will find the weak spot in the gate to Trotsky. All it'll take is a little push. And clunk! The lock will open, and the book will be mine.
Similes, word games. I'll never get a straight answer out of you.
The castle's weak spot is Chamberlain Ulrich, because he himself has a weakness for women. Of all the single damsels at the wedding, ours will be the most charming and irresistible for him. Noble or not, he's a mortal man, and he'll start to think with his male member. We will watch as he becomes feverish with lust. Soon he'll be begging to take our companion to Trotsky. He'll pretend his motives are pure, so she'll be more comfortable. And when the Chamberlain becomes insistent, you, as her personal bodyguard, will accept his offer. Naturally, you'll say you won't leave her side so you can defend her honor. Once in Trotsky, Ulrich will do everything to get you to leave him alone with her. And that will be your chance.
I can hardly believe that you, of all people, would come up with such a straightforward plan.
Well, it's not all that straightforward. I admit there's a certain element here that makes everything more complicated. First, we have to find our gracious lady.
Where do you want to find this lady? Here.
Look, she doesn't have to be a lady per se. We just need a wench with a pretty face. We'll get her a nice dress, some perfume. She doesn't even have to speak. We'll do the talking.
So some bathhouse wench would do?
Aye, that should work. You can find lots of capable girls at the Gelioff baths, including some who aren't so well known. It's true, Dorothy can be a bit unpleasant, but you'll be giving her an offer she can't refuse.
Well, the last time I dealt with her getting your disguise washed, she was quite delightful.
You'll tell her I'm offering enough groschen to buy 2 cows or a small cottage. That should soften her up.
All right. I'll take care of it.
Excellent. You're a talented, likable youngster, like Knight Roland of yore. I have complete faith in you. And don't forget, we're going to need to dress the girl up and make her smell nice so she comes across like a real lady. So, stop off at Troskowitz as well and get her a nice brocade dress and some long-lasting perfume. Mintha would be ideal.
Where can I find the dress?
Where do you think? The butcher's? Go and see the tailor. Bartoszek has just the thing in his shop. A beautiful red dress made of Tyrolean brocade.
Why that dress exactly?
Because red is the color of love and passion. And rich Tyrolean brocade is just begging to be touched. Ulrich won't know where to look. The dress is likely to be pretty expensive, but that's no obstacle for you, right?
Where can I find the perfume?
Emmerich the apothecary might have something. They say he makes some perfume for his wife. Or ask Betty the innkeeper. She may be a god-awful battle axe, but a nice-smelling one. Or get hold of the recipe and make your own Mintha. As an alchemy apprentice, you should be able to manage.
I'll be going then.
Once you've got everything ready for the wedding, we'll meet in front of the fortress gate. There, I'll let our lady in on some other details of our plan. But that won't be for your ears. Anyway, you'll be rehearsing your speech to Lord von Berghoff then, won't you?
I can't wait. I could go for something to eat now.
God.
So how's it going?
Good.
Anything new?
Not really.
Are you still organising fights?
Aye. Do you want to join? Well, see you later. Have a good evening.
Greetings, neighbor.
Good day.
Bless you.
A bit longer without food, and I'll really start to be grumpy.
Doggy, good boy.
God bless you.
Come on.
All right.
Here's the money.
Good.
You'll be walking arse first. You'll be shitting out your own. I'll pull your guts out from your throat. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, say, Henry. Here's your money.
Greetings, my...
Well,
Of course.
what about one?
I don't have any... Not so...
I do.
Say you... All right.
Thanks for the
You're gonna shove... Here.
Oh well. Welcome.
There.
I heard you swear by the alluring fragrance of Mintha.
Only the finest quality, Mintha. And now that I've been invited to the wedding, I'm keeping a close eye on my last 2 files. Do you like it?
I do. What do you want for it?
Haha. I'm definitely hanging on to this one. I take damn good care that no one takes it from me. Such a rarity. Besides, what good would it do you, a man?
You'd be surprised how perfume can help make a man seem more trustworthy. But I'll probably have to give this one to someone else who's also going to the wedding.
Well, I don't think it'll smell as good on her or him as on me. Moreover, I want to stand out at the wedding. Anyone can get Menta perfume, but of the highest quality, so the fragrance lasts. I prize those little bottles over all else.
Come now, Betty. Who put the idea in your head that you need perfume to impress someone?
Well, women compliment me on it. They say I smell classy, as if I was running an inn somewhere in Italy.
Don't try to be something you're not. I like you best as a real check-in keeper who's not afraid of a few stains from chicken and beer.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I needn't go overboard with the perfume. Sometimes it even tickles me own nose. And it itches where I put it on.
Well, in that case, Betty, you better stop. You wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
It'll be better if I get rid of one bottle. I'm keeping the other one, but I'll give you this one. At least I won't be so tempted to splash it all over me.
Glad to hear that. I won't keep you any longer. We'll talk at the wedding, right?
I'm looking forward to it.
What will it be?
Excuse me? I'm looking for someone.
Loads of people have been in the pillory, and you know what it's like. I'm really busy right now.
You haven't seen him then? Tall, fair-haired, fancies himself and talks like a noble.
Sorry, but I'm swamped with work because of the Semine wedding. Even Bashka the butcher ordered a jacket fit for a king, and he isn't even going to the wedding. So no, I haven't seen your friend, and I can't...
What do you think?
You don't look bad. What can I...
Show me your...
Maybe next time then. What? You can't be here. You fucking thief! That was mine! You'd better pay me compensation,
Easy.
you blackguard.
Let's talk about this.
Hey, that's mine! Give it back or I'll go and get a guard.
Forgive me, friend. There must have been some sort of mistake. But... well, since I already somehow ended up with this thing, supposing you were to give it to me as a gift, eh? I'd be eternally grateful to you.
Since you put it like that, good sir. All right, take it as a gift. And don't forget to mention my generosity to their lordships.
What can I do?
Crazel has an offer.
That old goat always sends you whenever he needs something. What does he want this time?
He's looking for a girl to pose as a lady.
A lady? You mean a noblewoman?
Something like that.
Well, I don't know if any of my girls could pull it off. They can't even eat like a noble with cutlery.
That won't be a problem. She won't even have to say much.
Why does he need one? Not for himself, I hope.
Aye. More or less.
What do you mean, more or less? Does he want it for himself or not?
Aye. For himself.
So she's supposed to go to the mill? Doesn't he have a woman there? Has the old pig got no shame?
She's supposed to go to the Semine wedding with him.
What, to go as his companion?
Yes. To accompany him to the wedding.
Strange. Well, what's in it for me?
He says he can offer enough groschen for you to buy 2 cows. Or a small cottage.
It's quite a lot for our usual services.
And that's not all. Your girl will also get a beautiful red dress made of Tyrolean brocade and a perfume called Minta. Nobody will be able to resist her. I've already got everything. Just say the word.
That sounds nice and all. But something stinks here. Out with it. What's he up to? Who does he want the poor girl for?
For the Chamberlain.
For Ulrich? You know what? I'm tired of this. Let's go and see what the girls have to say. They'll tell you about what they've been through with the Master Chamberlain. Girls, come here. Right, girls. We have a messenger here from Goodman Crazel. Tell us what you wanted to ask.
Well, it's about the Master Chamberlain.
He's looking for a girl for the Semine wedding.
God, anything but that. Dorothy, I actually have a lot of work to do, and...
Well, who wants to go first? Anna.
What should I say?
What should she say?
How are you doing here? And,
Look, we're busy. Tell him about the time the Master Chamberlain invited you to the castle.
Well, the Lord Chamberlain invited me to Trotsky, and the girls warned me that it would be different to what I was used to. So I asked him if I should take a different soap or something. Or does the Master Chamberlain not like silk? Or if his bed is hard and my back will hurt. If only. But they said I'd have to do things that... How'd you put it? Things they haven't even thought of in hell. I thought the Master Chamberlain might be of a different religion, and that fucking a Christian girl would be a sin. But he believes in the same God as the rest of us. Which makes it all the worse. Then I thought maybe he was cruel to the girls, but I hear that's not the case either. It's not what he wants to do to us that's against God, but what he wants us to do to him.
I thought he had leprosy.
Tell the girls how much Crazel is offering.
enough that you'll be able to buy a small cottage.
Or 2 cows. Not bad, eh? Well, is anyone willing to go with the Chamberlain?
Not even for a golden goose. I'd rather be celibate.
I thought he had leprosy.
Aye, but it's a tidy sum. I reckon I'll have to choose one of you myself.
Dorothy, I swear that I'm not going anywhere. You can't make me. Dorothy, I'll scrub all the tubs here for the rest of my life. I swear. All of them. Every day. I'll do that too. And I'll even take care of the outhouses.
Girls, come now.
I'll go then. If I can handle it a second time, it'll be a miracle. And maybe they'll even make me a saint.
No, you can't. Dorothy, please don't make her do that again. Dorothy, for the love of God.
Calm down, girls. Don't worry. I'll never send you to the Chamberlain again. I just wanted to show Crazel's lackey here what you've been keeping from me for so long.
Christ almighty. I was starting to accept my fate.
God in heaven. I feel filthy just thinking about it. I'd like to jump in a bath.
So, in case you didn't get the message, lad, no girl from Zhelioff is going with the Chamberlain.
I still don't get it. What's so terrible about him?
Weren't you listening? What he demands is just heathen it is.
It's worse than if he had leprosy.
Well, he doesn't wash.
If only. That would be a doddle.
I'd go with him twice if that's all it was.
You don't want to know, believe me.
All right. What am I supposed to do now?
Do what you like. We've said our piece. Go and find some heathen girl. A harlot like that came here recently, asking for work. She was from them nomads.
Aye, I remember her. Nose in the air, talking fancy like some scholar. She introduced herself as Enneline of Winterthur, like she was some noblewoman.
I didn't trust her for a moment. She was pretty, though. There's no denying that. I wanted to give her a chance, but she asked for so much coin. I thought I must be hearing things. Try asking after her in the camp. Maybe she's got a stronger stomach than my girls.
Poor thing.
I'll pray for her.
Well, thank you.
Greetings. Good to see you.
Te aves.
I'm sorry.
I hear there's an enemy.
Eneline is a city girl, used to precious things. So we had her watch the horse. They are worse. If you don't find her at our forest stables, she might have gone to the pound for water.
Budbach Tessa Stipen.
Christ. Good evening. Do you need something?
Any news about Mara?
I never saw Marika so happy. Thank you, Henry.
Are you Mistress Eneline of Winterthur?
Winterthur, Lyon, Vienna. It doesn't matter. What do you want?
I'm Henry. I was sent by Miller Crazel. We have a job offer for you.
Huh. How did you find out about me?
Your reputation precedes you, miss.
All the way? You're only saying that to please me, aren't you? But it's sweet of you. But be that as it may, what's the job?
To go to the Semine wedding with us. As a companion.
A wedding, you say? The last time I was at a wedding was in Nevers, France. I had to sing there. I'd like to avoid that this time.
You don't have to sing. Or even say much. All you have to do is behave like a lady.
Behave like a lady? Do you mind? I am one. Or hadn't you noticed?
Sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
All right, then. How much?
Crazel's offering enough to buy 2 cows.
Cows? Me? I was offered an estate for my services in Antwerp, and a 30-foot gondola in Venice. Although this is only Trotsky after all, I can't expect too much in this backwater. All right then, I'll do it. But first, tell me this. What can I expect at this Semine?
Instead of singing, you'll be able to dance.
Lovely. And what else?
Now that Trotsky is closed, there's no more prominent stronghold in the region than Semine Fortress. Someone will surely give you a tour and show you the magnificently decorated chambers.
Tempting. Tempting. And what else?
I even hear Lord Otto von Berghoff will be there, the Lord of Trotsky. Someone will surely introduce you to him. Well, and wherever von Berghoff goes, he's followed by the second most important man in the domain, the Chamberlain of Trotsky, Sir Ulrich von Schaumburg.
The Chamberlain? As in the castle caretaker? I'm not interested in some little clerk.
You should be. He's the one Crazel wants you to pay attention to at the wedding.
Pay attention? How?
Well, you simply have to seduce him.
I beg your pardon? Do you take me for some cheap whore? A harem girl? A brothel wench? A bathhouse hussy?
I'm sorry, but
Silence! I am Eneline, a companion, a courtesan. I am courted by gentlemen vying for my favour. I have been a concubine in Krakow, a mistress in Venice, and a gentleman's companion in Basel. My name is known in Brandenburg, Marseille, and Malopolska. I have fulfilled the wildest wishes of the most important commanders of Sigismund's army. Until he stopped paying, the ginger bastard. I'll do my work the way I see fit. Got that?
all right. Got it.
I should hope so. So, to the point. What do you want from the Chamberlain?
It's mainly about a book we need to borrow from Trotsky. And the way to get it leads right through the Chamberlain and his quarters. And maybe through his bed. I don't know the exact details. Crazel will tell you himself.
So, common theft. That's a bit of a disappointment. I've played a part in assassinations and rebellions, and now I'm reduced to this. Helping to steal a book. But why not? I expect it won't be anything too complicated, and the coin is certainly worth it.
Not so fast. It won't be that easy with the Chamberlain.
Why do you think that?
Just so you know, Crazel originally wanted to take a bath wench to the wedding, but the girls said they didn't want anything to do with him because of his special tastes. I asked them what's behind it, and, well, some wanted to vomit after meeting him. Others said they started considering the convent.
Poor girls. Here in the arse end of the world, girls are no doubt used to just lying on their backs and staring up at the ceiling.
Well, it seems it's not about what Chamberlain Schaumburg did to them, but what he wanted them to do to him.
I knew a Schaumburg from Nuremberg, and he was a hermaphrodite. He had both, things. A respected person, a member of the town council. It can catch you off guard, because you don't know what you're getting into. Maybe it's also the case with the local bathwenchers. But I don't want to make fun of the girls. Not everyone wants to try new tricks, if you know what I mean. I must say, I'm quite curious about the Chamberlain now.
We're agreed, then?
Certainly. Believe me, it takes a lot to put me off. And just in case, there's this potion I carry around. A couple of drops and the Chamberlain will sleep like a log. Except I've run out of wine. I should have some at hand, just to be sure.
There'll be lots of wine at Trotsky.
That may be true, but if you find me some beforehand, I won't complain. There's one more thing, though. I don't think anyone will believe I'm a lady in these old rags.
Don't worry about that. Crazel told me to get hold of a dress and some perfume for you.
What dress?
A red one. Tyrolean brocade.
Brocade. I like it. Crazel clearly knows what he's doing.
I've got hold of the dress for you already.
Clever boy. I can't wait. Are you going to the wedding as well?
As your bodyguard.
You should get some nice clothes for yourself in that case. You don't look too terrible, but there's always room for improvement. And as for that perfume, it ought to be one that lasts a long time.
Crazel suggested Minter.
I'll take his word for it.
I've already got it for you.
Come on then, show me.
About the things for the wedding.
Yes. God bless.
About the things for the wedding.
Yes.
I'll have a dress for you. What do you think?
My, oh my, that is very pretty. Fine handiwork. I'd tidy up the seams a bit, but so be it. We're not in a city, let alone Innsbruck. Thanks.
I'll have some perfume for you. Will this do?
My God! It smells just like the yellow headband I wore in Pisa. It brings back memories. Thanks.
I brought you some wine.
Oh, you remembered. Thank you.
A trifle. I've brought you everything you asked for. Are you ready to leave for Semi?
I am. Once you're ready, just say the word.
Can we go to Semi now?
God have mercy, boy. Wearing armour? To a wedding? Are you out of your mind?
You don't understand.
Look, take it off now. Farewell, my friend.
Good afternoon.
What do you have for sale? I'd like to do...
Well?
Do you accept?
Look, I hope you'll be satisfied. How can I...
What do you think?
Magnificent. I couldn't have picked a better outfit myself. I think you're ready to dazzle them all.
God grant you health. You silly.
Can we go to Samin now?
That wasn't too hard, was it? It suits you. You won't look out of place now.
Good to hear. Should we go?
Hold on a while. I'll get washed and dressed, then we can go.
Welcome, Miller. Who are your companions?
Who do you think? More guests.
Crazel, my friend. So you've arrived. And you're bringing company?
Sir, allow me to...
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook? A sand-coloured cover, embossed?
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
This isn't about me. I'm of little importance when it comes to reading and spreading the ideas of the great scholars of Prague.
Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help. But he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
I'll have a talk with Nickvard and find out what the problem is.
You think I haven't tried? But since you've already offered to address this pressing situation, listen to what I've learned. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
It's still just a book. Paper and leather.
You say that? To a scribe?
I thought there were more precious things. Like a human life.
We could have a long discussion comparing the value of a Takovite peasant's life with, say, a treatise on physics by Hildegard von Bingen. But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
I reckon those aren't the only 3 people that know him.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner, which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkhove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
Before I go, can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkhoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
You said Nickvard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nickvard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nickvard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
That's everything I needed to know.
Greetings.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nickvard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. I truly respect your honesty. I'm in the service of a nobleman myself, and I know what's expected of us in cases like these, whether it's Nickvard's illness or political machinations over the fate of our kingdom. Both carry equal weight when spoken about behind closed doors, I'd say. I stand by my principles in matters like that.
Lord Libac's troubles can hardly compare to what you're talking about. It's really quite a trifle in comparison.
So you'll tell me then?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nickvard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us, and I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another phial. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Greetings. What do you need?
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nick Vard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here, talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the last time you saw Nick Vard? And where?
The last time was in the Knight's Hall. But that was a long time ago. I found that message a few days ago. Hard to say where he's off to.
Thanks anyway.
Greetings. Do you need something?
I'm here for some horse tack. I hear you have something for me.
Well, fuck me blind. You got out of jail yesterday and today you've got a horse. Fuck, I wouldn't mind having your kind of luck. But you're fucking things up for me and making a mess. And I don't want to get a whipping on your account. I've got the tack ready, but I've been ordered to show you our herring first. You can take him, they said. So kindly take a look at him in the stable here and tell me if you want him or not.
I took a look at...
And?
A nice animal, but I'll keep...
Never mind looking a gift horse in the mouth, you flat out refuse to accept one. You're lost though, pal. Actually, now we've got to know each other, I want to let you in on this little scheme. We could both get something out of it. But you'd have to keep it to yourself. What do you say? Can you keep your mouth shut when coin's at stake?
I can keep my mouth shut. You can count on it. What's this about coin, then?
Look, it's easy as pie. You keep your horse, which you wanted to do anyway, but I'll say you took herring, and then I'll sell him to someone. You'll do all right out of it. I'll pay you up front.
Well, I might be interested, but I deserve a bigger cut. I'm not new to all this, so I'm well aware that the first offer to an accomplice is deliberately low, just in case he accepts. So forget about that and make it worth my while, because you'll get a tidy sum for a horse like that.
I didn't expect you to be so savvy. But you're not wrong. I'll give you double my first offer. I reckon that's fair.
Me too.
Right, now we can get back to the reason you're here. You know how to ride and control a horse?
Don't worry. I'm right at home with horses. I learned to ride with cumans on my tail, and arrows whistling past my head. A tough school it was.
Well, I'll be damned. I never heard such a thing before. But even an experienced horseman like you needs equipment, as you well know. You can tack him up yourself, right?
Sure. Thanks.
I also heard his nibs has something else for you as well as a horse. Tell me, What did you get?
Nothing.
Bollocks. They told me they had to kick you out. I hear you'll be sleeping next to Ossiner's smithy, so that's where they put 'em, I reckon. It'd be a pity to leave them there. When the lords give, you take, 'cause they don't give often. Remember that advice, it'll come in handy.
Thanks. I will. And I'll take a look at the smithy, like you said. But if you're yanking my pizzle, you'll be sorry.
Me? Never. See you later, my friend.
But your father's still alive, isn't he?
Aye, but he drools all over himself.
Good day. You're a pearl.
Lord be with you. I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libak. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What task?
Nick Libak, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nickvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I am.
Right. You're yanking my pizzle. But if you're lying and I report you anyway, just in case, don't imagine I'll get in trouble over it. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side, the side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? Hmm? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
Listen, Hirsch.
Don't try any word games on me. Persuasion, threats. I know about them spy tricks. Deeds talk louder than words. For example, like bringing me a sword.
Door. I'll think of a way to...
doggy. Good boy.
I've got a barrel of ale at home. I'm afraid it'll go bad on me soon. Someone should really do something about that.
Aye, I'm in a right bind. But what are friends for if not to help each other?
Slowly. Nice and slow.
How's life treating you?
Whoa!
To help you out.
Sure, but where could I find this?
Oh, please. People are always asking me if you're...
About Nickford.
Got that sword yet?
You wanted a sword?
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickford, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff.
You mainly appear to be devoted to idling. Shouldn't you be carrying sacks like the others?
Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
Greetings to you two. Where's your garden the other day?
Easy. Good horse. Go! Whoa! You must be
Where's that
Nickford,
damn
eh?
gravedigger?
Poor wretch.
It's starting to stink.
Sand-coloured cover, embossed. That'll be the book Crazel wants, but it's quite ordinary. Apart from being covered in shit.
I hope someone pays.
You dare to show your face to me after what you did at my daughter's wedding?
I have to tell you that there are some, things going on in the mill in Lower Semine that don't seem to have much to do with milling flour.
It's not the first I've heard of it. People come in here all the time saying that mill is suspicious. Nobody's been able to give me any details, though. Can you elaborate?
Well, where can I start?
Look, if you're caught up in anything shady, you don't have to worry. If you bring me valuable reports, I can guarantee you impunity. I protect my people, so you can speak freely.
Something's definitely going on at the mill. Crazel tasked me with carrying sacks. I thought they were full of flour, but then metal balls started spilling out. He wouldn't tell me what was going on. Instead, he offered me another job. That is, just a job. He initiated me into the art of wealth redistribution. His term for thievery. In short, before I knew it, I became an apprentice thief with all that entails. But it didn't sit right with me, which is why I'm here.
Good for you, lad. All we've had so far is vague accusations, no direct evidence. Crazel and his hired hands are damned crafty. It's hard to figure out what his supposedly scholarly talk is all about. Now, I'm thinking. Supposing you became our eyes and ears at Crazel's place.
You mean be your informant?
Well, let's call it a trade. Valuable first-hand reports in exchange for honest, officially approved groschen.
That sounds interesting. Where should I start?
Just carry on doing what you're doing for Crazel, as if nothing happened. Gain his trust. It can be dubious and dangerous. It's hard to tell what he has in store for you. You mustn't let on to him that you're working for us. And when we have enough evidence, we'll hit Lower Semine in full force. We'll lock the whole lot up.
All right. I'll be happy to help. As soon as I get Crazel and his band in one place, I'll tell you immediately. Go! Easy, good horse.
Did you hear about what happened at... Ow!
Oh.
You dare to show your face to me after what you did at my daughter's wedding?
I have to tell you that there are some, things going on in the mill in Lower Semine that don't seem to have much to do with milling flour.
It's not the first I've heard of it. People come in here all the time saying that mill is suspicious. Nobody's been able to give me any details, though. Can you elaborate?
Well, where can I start?
Look, if you're caught up in anything shady, you don't have to worry. If you bring me valuable reports, I can guarantee you impunity. I protect my people, so you can speak freely.
Something's definitely going on at the mill. Crazel tasked me with carrying sacks. I thought they were full of flour. But then metal balls started spilling out. He wouldn't tell me what was going on. Instead, he offered me another job. That is, just a job. He initiated me into the art of wealth redistribution. His term for thievery. In short, before I knew it, I became an apprentice thief with all that entails. But it didn't sit right with me, which is why I'm here.
Good for you, lad. All we've had so far is vague accusations, no direct evidence. Crazel and his hired hands are damned crafty. It's hard to figure out what his supposedly scholarly talk is all about. Now, I'm thinking. Supposing you became our eyes and ears at Crazel's place.
You mean be your informant?
Well, let's call it a trade. Valuable first-hand reports in exchange for honest, officially approved groschen.
That sounds interesting. Where should I start?
Just carry on doing what you're doing for Crazel, as if nothing happened. Gain his trust. It can be dubious and dangerous. It's hard to tell what he has in store for you. You mustn't let on to him that you're working for us. And when we have enough evidence, we'll hit Lower Semine in full force. We'll lock the whole lot up.
All right. I'll be happy to help. As soon as I get Crazel and his band in one place, I'll tell you immediately.
Greetings. Good day to you.
Greetings, my friend.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I didn't even look inside.
You had a treasure like this in your hands, and you weren't even curious to have a peek? Well, I suppose it's not for everyone. I'll have a look for myself. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
But the essence of life from the skies didn't bother you, and now you're squeamish.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
I'll let you read through it and come back later. So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Crazel. What's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. You'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. It's time for the rat house to make a move on Crazy.
Do we have enough evidence to lock that rabble up? Tell me.
You might want to sit down for this, Thrush. Crazel has something that would allow him to raise the whole of Trotsky to the ground if he wanted to.
My God, how? Tell me.
Listen.
Goddamn Crazel.
What now?
It's time to put an end to it. I'll take a few men, and we'll head to that lair of theirs. Show us the way. They're gonna kill me. Is there anyone missing here?
No. This is the whole gang.
Master Bailiff, what are you doing out here? In the forest? Such a rare honor.
The game is up, Crazel. In the name of the king, you'll tell me every last detail of what's going on here.
Of course. My conscience is clear. It's just that my apprentice here must have misunderstood the goal of our efforts. I assume that's why he brought you here.
Don't try to worm your way out of it. Henry here has cause to suspect something underhand is going on here.
You don't say. What sort of underhand things do you mean?
You sent me to steal the document from the rat house.
Don't associate me with thievery. You know I hate that word. The document was mine, and you decided on your own how to obtain it.
Horseshit. You've got all the thievery in the county under your thumb. Bonnie and Zinnek robbed a lot of poor farmers.
What my hands do behind my back is their own business. You can't prove any of it, Thrush.
I can't prove the thievery, Crazel. You're right about that. But I'll find plenty of evidence against you right here. The manufacture of black powder is a crime. I'm giving you one last chance to confess and avoid a visit to the torture chamber.
A crime? How could it be a crime? Is it a crime to walk down a path no one has walked before? To pick a flower no one has ever picked? Or to make love to a girl no one has ever made love to?
Save the poetry for someone who cares, Miller. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
But you don't know what I'm talking about. You see the shadows on the wall, but you miss the flame casting them. You don't understand the world hidden behind the world of matter. You'll never know what it means to harness and control that matter, what it means to wield the power of fire.
And you don't know when to stop babbling about your delusions, because you just unwittingly confessed.
What the hell is going on here?
You don't know? I thought you'd be more insightful, after all we've been through together.
You never were particularly outgoing.
And I see I wasn't wrong about you. You're just an ordinary fool. You fail to understand that behind my actions is nothing but a pure desire for true knowledge. To hell with a golem, the Kabbalah, shadows, and light. This is proof that knowledge is a weapon. This is real power. If it gets into the right hands, stone shall not be left upon stone. It'll tear down your whole old world, along with the church and all that shit around it. Then God's justice will finally come among men.
I'd truly like to see that.
Sero sapiunt frigus.
Don't hide behind Latin. Your university lectures won't save you. You underestimated us. Especially our scribe. He learned all about black powder and the danger it poses. I didn't catch you for thievery, but I'll have you for aiding and abetting outlaws. You'll hang. All of you!
I have nothing to do with outlaws. I swear. Do you think I'd share such a secret with anyone?
Then what did you want to do with black powder?
To try it out, to test its power.
And how would you do that? Blow up the rat house?
No! Why would you think that?
You spoke of the end of the old world. Where else would you start but in Troskovitz?
You're more conceited than I thought. You think everything revolves around you and your little rat house? Henry, for Christ's sake, say something. You know me. You must understand.
Perhaps he's telling the truth. Maybe he doesn't deserve to die.
It's too late for mercy now, Henry. I thought you were on our side.
There is only one wisdom and truth that is hidden in the very essence of things. You can't stop progress. There will be others after me. The discovery of black powder will eventually reach the people and serve the purpose for which God intended it. From the spark will come an explosion of knowledge, and then nothing will stop the coming of the new kingdom of God.
You've gone mad. Or you're possessed by the devil. Either way, you're dangerous and we have to stop you.
You can't distinguish between reason and emotion. I wanted to open your eyes, but you clearly didn't understand a word of what I was trying to teach you.
That's enough. Miller Crazel for rebellion against the king and the order of the world in a time of war. I sentence you and your accomplices to death by hanging. The sentence shall be carried out immediately and on the spot, as is the custom when dealing with rebels like you. Men, hang them from the rafters in this hole of theirs. Let them swing there as carrion for the crows and a warning to others.
God be with you, my friend.
And with you.
You shouldn't be bothering us here.
What?
God bless.
I have the...
What?
I didn't even look in...
You had a trip. This... But what?
Got the...
Oh, refining. Well...
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertold? Oh, God damn it, Crazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. Whoa! What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Crazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part!
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
I think you're minting fake coins.
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Everybody wants to get rich. But that wasn't the original intention. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. And my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
You must have had a real good mother for her to support you like that.
I'd say she didn't have much of a choice. My father was always busy, so she was the one who had to listen to all my questions. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
You left your studies?
And I'm glad I did. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean alchemy?
Exactly. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
So you became a miller?
In the end, I did. As you can see, from then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
What is it? So it burns?
More than that, it makes a big bang.
A very big bang. But don't worry, we're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Gutenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold, and that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
listen to me.